Washington, this is VOA News. Potential suspect named in Canadian shooting. U.S. health officials order West African travelers to monitor health for Ebola. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. U.S. authorities say Canadian law enforcement is investigating Michael Zehaf-Bibeau as a possible suspect in the shootings in and around the Canadian Parliament. Officials believe that one shooter was a Canadian convert to Islam and the man was from Quebec. Dozens of gunshots rang out in Canada's Parliament buildings in Ottawa Wednesday after a soldier guarding the nearby National War Memorial was shot to death. Police say one gunman was shot and killed inside the main Parliament building. John McKay is a member of the Canadian Parliament.
Well, literally, I was just taking off my jacket to go into caucus. I hear this pop, 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 possibly 10 shots, don't really know. Thought it was dynamite or construction rather than anything else.
Police are searching for 2 or more suspects. President Obama spoke by phone with Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and condemned the attacks. He also offered any U.S. assistance Canada needed in responding to the situation. A Palestinian driver killed a 3-month-old baby and injured 8 others after he rammed his car into a crowd of pedestrians at a Jerusalem train station Wednesday. Israeli police are calling it an act of terrorism. They shot and wounded the driver when he tried to run away. U.S. federal health authorities are ordering travelers from 3 West African countries to monitor their health for 21 days and report daily for any signs of Ebola. The visitors would be from Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, the epicenter of the Ebola outbreak. The monitoring program will start next week in 6 eastern states. The travelers will be given an Ebola kit when they arrive at airports, including a thermometer. This is VOA News. The U.S. Defense Department confirms that Islamic State militants seized one of the 28 bundles of weapons and medical supplies dropped to Kurdish forces on Monday. VOA's Carla Babb reports.
Pentagon spokesman Colonel Steve Warren says 2 of the 28 bundles dropped by the United States for Kurds fighting Islamic State militants did not make it to the Allies.
Yesterday we announced that one resupply bundle went astray and was destroyed. We've since relooked that and we have determined that a second bundle also went astray and probably fell into enemy hands.
The bundles included small weapons, hand grenades, medical supplies, and ammunition. Warren said the wind appeared to have caused the bundles that were dropped with parachutes to go off course. Warren says the weapons in the bundle are not enough to give the enemy any type of advantage. Carla Babb, VOA News, the Pentagon.
After 6 months of detention in North Korea, Jeffrey Fowle returned home to an emotional family reunion in the Midwestern state of Ohio Wednesday. Pyongyang abruptly released Fowle Tuesday with no explanation, except to say that he was freed following repeated requests from President Obama. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said no deal had been struck with North Korea in Fowle's case. Fowle was arrested after leaving a Bible in a North Korean restaurant and bar. His family denied that he traveled to the country on a church-related mission. A U.S. Marine suspected of killing a transgender woman earlier this month was transferred to Philippine military headquarters in Manila amid public pressure to move him off a U.S. warship. Until the transfer Wednesday, Private First Class Joseph Scott Pemberton was detained aboard a U.S. vessel following allegations that he murdered 26-year-old Jennifer Laude after meeting her in a bar. The Marine will be guarded by local and U.S. forces in the capital as the investigation continues. The World Health Organization is calling for urgent action to stop the spread of multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis. Lisa Schlein has details.
New estimates show 9 million people developed tuberculosis last year, and 1.5 million died, including 360,000 people who were HIV positive. These figures are terrible, especially since TB is a preventable and curable disease. But the World Health Organization says people should not lose heart, as important inroads are being made in getting on top of this deadly disease. The report says mortality rates have fallen by 45% since 1990, and the number of new cases is declining by an average of 1.5% a year. Lisa Schlein, Geneva.
Estonia summoned the Russian ambassador after a Russian spy plane entered the Baltic country's airspace without permission. NATO says a Russian aircraft was in Estonian airspace for about 1 minute on Tuesday.
That's the latest world news from VOA.